In a custom garage, the genius mechanic Lino is modifying a compact car, a Renault Clio. He reinforces the front, places a giant engine in the back seat. After a round of adjustments, everything is ready. He brings his younger brother Quentin along, preparing to rob a jewelry store to help Quentin pay off a debt. His plan is as reliable as the Incredibles, intending to use the Clio to ram straight through a concrete wall. Because the car's center of gravity must be balanced, the two brothers have to sit together in the front row. He gives his younger brother a helmet to ensure safety, while he himself wears a hood. The two fasten their seatbelts, start the engine. Just like that, Lino drives through 4 layers of concrete walls. Just as the two brothers are about to get out of the car, the Renault's seatbelt gets stuck. From a distance, police sirens wail. Lino hurriedly tells Quentin to run, while he himself is arrested and sent to prison. However, talent will shine anywhere. Haven't director Moss and the head of the drug squad, Charis, already arrived? Because recently, the white powder dealers have been driving too aggressively, and the police cars aren't powerful enough. So Charis sets his eyes on Lino, wanting to recruit him into the team to modify cars. There's a muscular guy who's not happy with Lino, but Lino doesn't choose a direct confrontation. He just secretly makes a small adjustment to the gym equipment. In the end, Moss agrees. Charis calls Lino over. The two have a heart-to-heart talk. Lino, of course, agrees. After all, this is a good opportunity to atone for his crime. However, Charis had already noticed Lino's small actions from earlier. He tells Lino to be careful, to survive until tonight, when he will come to pick Lino up from prison. Charis leaves the information of the team members for Lino. As a result, Lino immediately takes a liking to the girl, Julia. Just like that, the police cars modified by Lino have their first battle. They drive the European version of the Ford Mondeo, known for its durability. Lino also specially reinforces the front of the car. The Ford is like a wild buffalo in relentless pursuit. On the radio, teammate Arsky wants to take action. Charis tells him not to be hasty, that Julia is enough. Julia, who is driving, is very satisfied with this steel monster. She begins to chase the BMW 5 Series of the drug dealers, which is also a wagon. Faced with the relentlessly pursuing Ford police car, the drug dealers open fire directly. Bullets rain down on the Ford but are useless, seemingly just scratching an itch. Seeing the police car getting closer, the drug dealers activate a speed boost, just like Lino at the beginning of the movie, and zoom away. Seeing the wagon getting farther and farther away, Julia is extremely annoyed but can't do anything. Her car doesn't have enough power. However, the BMW doesn't get far before its engine explodes, and the car starts to slow down. This means the smugglers can't escape. But a variable occurs. Areski's Ford rushes in from the opposite direction, and so the BMW meets its fate, getting hit head-on. Charis and Julia get out. Arsky and Marco also get out from the opposite car, surrounding them from both front and back. But under the extremely strong impact, the drug dealers are all dead. Charis is a bit dissatisfied. He wanted to capture them alive, but now they've only seized the goods, a completely different matter. On Julia's side, seeing the smug look on Marco and his accomplices' faces, she is utterly speechless. The observant Charis discovers a custom car part in the BMW, identical to Lino's. The camera cuts to the custom garage. Hearing the team's cars returning, Lino immediately turns into a suck-up and goes to find Julia. But Julia doesn't even pay attention to him. Marco doesn't like him either, directly opening his car door to block him, telling Lino he should be under a car, not here. Lino sees Charis, expressing his desire to stay and work overtime tonight and return to the prison camp in the morning. Hearing this, Charis agrees. Today, Arsky, who succeeded in the ramming incident, starts bragging about his achievement to Lino. Top speed 240, head-on collision at 140. Back in the office, Charis throws cold water on Arsky. He feels that the smugglers seem to have an insider in the police team. Each time they only release a little white powder for them to seize, but it never affects the entire market. On the other side, Lino tries to talk to Julia again and receives a harsh rejection. Lino is both angry and helpless. It seems Julia doesn't respect a gangster like him. He has no choice but to turn his sorrow into passion, pouring it all into his overtime shift tonight. The next morning, he returns to prison to report in as required. Charis comes to pick him up in his beloved red Renault 21. The moment Lino sees Charis's Renault 21, he wants to modify it. But Charis says he is absolutely not to touch this car. Helpless, Lino urges Charis to drive faster because he has to get back to the prison camp. Charis takes Lino to a warehouse. Here, it seems to be full of Megans. In short, all these little cannons will later belong to the drug squad. Lino's eyes light up. Even better news is that Charis shows him a document. Because he has continuously performed meritorious deeds to atone for his crimes over the past 9 months, Charis has applied for his early release. Lino is extremely moved. Charis then shows Lino the component found yesterday. Lino knows at a glance that it's a fuel splitter that can help the engine triple its acceleration, but for no more than 200 m or the engine will blow. Charis says, "I've seen this thing in the car you used to ram the jewelry store. There was someone else that night. Who was he?" However, Charis reassures Lino that his target is the smugglers behind the scenes. Lino tells Charis, "That person was my brother, Quentin." Just like that, based on his clues, Charis takes Lino to the smuggler's auto repair shop. But he has to wait for Arsky to arrive, so he gives Lino 2 minutes to go in first. Charis calls to hurry Arsky again. It's this very call that leaves evidence in Arsky's favor later on. Inside, Lino meets Quentin. Quentin, however, doesn't look happy, telling his brother to leave quickly, that it's not safe here. Sure enough, an old man with a prosthetic leg hears the noise and comes out. Next to him is a thug, a bald guy. The old man signals for the bald guy to throw Lino out. Here, Lino still doesn't fight back, only continuously dodging. When the old man with a flamethrower is about to make a move, Charis arrives in time, snatching the weapon from the old man. On one hand, he tells Lino to search the bald guy. Just as Charis is about to interrogate the old man, Arsky and Marco's pickup truck drives directly into the workshop. Seeing his teammates arrive, Charis, who has been smart his whole life, lets his guard down for a moment. He lowers his vigilance, tells Lino to bring his car over too, and at the same time tells Marco and Arsky to tie up the old man. Arsky, with a gloomy face because his plan failed, and Marco look at each other. Then, Arsky gives a signal with his eyes to the old man. Lino and Quentin are happily reuniting when Arsky draws his gun. Lino watches in shock as Charis gets shot. Arsky, who fired the shot, also has complex feelings, but he doesn't regret it, only calculating how to place the blame. Marco is stunned. He didn't expect Arsky to be so ruthless. In the car, Quentin immediately tells Lino to make a run for it. They want to kill them to silence them. Lino reacts in time, grabs a gun, and fires back, taking the opportunity to escape. Arsky pulls Quentin away, then moves forward to confirm Charis has stopped breathing. Starting to calculate the next plan, Marco gives chase, but only finds a tracking device. Seeing this, Arsky is furious, immediately telling the old man and his cronies to quickly destroy Charis's car. He and Marco give chase together. He forgot that the bullet that shot Charis was still in the car. On the other side, Lino runs with a gun to a gas station, wanting to borrow a phone to call Julia. But unfortunately, there are exactly 3 police officers in the convenience store. So Lino is captured on the spot and taken to the police station. An officer recognizes him as Charis's mechanic. Lino begs him to call Julia. The officer agrees, but in the end, the person who walks into the interrogation room is Arsky. As soon as Arsky enters, he turns off the surveillance camera, starting to threaten and entice, hoping Lino will cooperate and testify falsely that the people in the repair shop killed Charis. That way, everyone is happy. If he doesn't agree, it's no big deal. Arsky has Charis's distress message, and Lino has Charis's blood on him. Add to that his criminal status. It can be said to be extremely unfavorable. After saying those words, Arsky turns the surveillance camera back on. In the entire drug squad, Arsky and Lino actually had a pretty good relationship, but when faced with major issues, Lino did not agree. Seeing that he's not being cooperative, Arsky says one thing: "Cop killer on the run." Just like that, the officers watch Lino on the surveillance monitor, uselessly trying to remove his handcuffs. But Lino is a mechanic after all. If he can't get the handcuffs off, he'll deal with the table. It just so happened that when Arsky went out, he didn't lock the door. When the police rush in, Lino easily takes them down in 2 moves, gets the key to open his handcuffs. Sorry, but the entire police station is no match for Lino. Superior strength and very flexible combat thinking, but he doesn't play dirty. After all, these are police officers. This female officer has pretty good skills, is also very fierce, but she was overpowered by Lino both times. This is the difference in strength between men and women. Lino has passed the first hurdle, getting out of the police station. As soon as he sees someone, he knows he'll be exposed. There's no other way but to keep fighting. After a while, the fight moves to another map. Lino begins to demonstrate the correct way to use a riot shield. In the end, Lino is pinned down from both sides, overpowered by the men. Just when we think he's cornered, he manages to grab his opponent's pepper spray. After a series of attacks, he successfully breaks through. The story takes us to the fake crime scene. Julia is heartbroken, while Director Moss looks at the burned-out car and Charis's body. She doesn't believe for a second that Lino is the killer. As for Arski, he wants to take this opportunity to seize power, but Moss doesn't agree. Arski finds Marco. Now, without Charis's restraint, they can transport more white powder. Julia, in utter misery, follows the tow truck back to the drug squad's workshop. Seeing the car being towed back and the empty seat, she can't hold back her sorrow. Charis was her superior, her mentor, the one who guided her on her path as a police officer. Lino finds his way here, locks up the other colleagues, then finds Julia to clear his name. He tells her the truth, and Julia seems to believe him. Lino, filled with grief, moves to hug her. This Julia is really a tough one. Lino is still gentle. It's clear that Lino's strength can overpower Julia, but he's still afraid of hurting his goddess, so he pretends to be successfully leg-swept by Julia and faints. The result is Lino uses Julia's own handcuffs to cuff her. When Lino gets up, he leans on the wheel rim and deduces this is not Charis's car. This means the bullet, the crucial piece of evidence, is still out there. He immediately chooses to leave. When Arski arrives, Director Moss is also at the scene. She doesn't believe Julia's words. Arski immediately plays the good guy, pulling Julia aside and starting to dig for information. Julia tells him what Lino said. Hearing this, Arski immediately starts to manipulate her psychologically. Lino is taking advantage of the romance rumors between you two. Doing this will make you a suspect in the internal investigation. Trust me, I'll help you. Julia seems a bit swayed. As for Lino, he goes back to the previous repair shop. He sees the old man and his henchmen working and sneaks in to steal a gun. He just gets an AK and is about to grab a pistol when the bald guy spots him. As a result, the escape fails. Instead, he walks right into a trap. After Charis's death, Arski isn't promoted. Instead, Director Moss personally comes to manage the drug squad. This makes Arski worried. He needs these cars to transport white powder. He begs Moss not to disband the team, but the two then argue. Moss is the director. After all, she orders Arski to find Lino first. At this moment, Marco gets a call and tells Arski to come. This guy, before leaving, throws another wrench in the works, mentioning that Lino is pursuing Julia. Truly a master of internal politics. In the repair shop, Lino and the old man negotiate. He knows the Renault 21 has been hidden. The old man doesn't say much, signaling his men to take care of Lino. Quentin sees his brother held at gunpoint and then thrown into the trunk and is extremely worried. A crazy idea flashes in his mind. He slams on the gas and rams straight into the old man, and Lino takes that opportunity to counterattack. The two brothers immediately flee. Quentin knows the Renault 21 is hidden at a farm, but he has to get the robbery money and the white powder first. The moment he hears Lino has decided to turn himself in, he feels like his world is collapsing. He doesn't want to go to jail, but he has no choice but to listen to his brother. Arski rushes over after getting the call, utterly speechless. He releases the old man and the bald guy. The smugglers and the corrupt cops, who had been cooperating well, start to argue. Arski has long been fed up with these two idiots. He fires one shot, killing the old man, then tells Marco to kill the bald guy. The bald guy, wanting to live, reveals the location of the Renault 21, but Marco still kills him. However, Marco keeps this information to himself. The two are now also outwardly allies but inwardly divided, each with their own agenda. As for Julia, she is told by a colleague that the car was not Charis's at all. She is furious and immediately goes to report to Moss. But Moss, having just heard Areski's slander, completely dismisses her. Compared to the upright and trusting Charis from before, Moss is exactly the type of superior Julia hates the most. Just as Julia is at the peak of her anger, she receives a call from Lino. Julia decides to trust him one more time. The two arrange to meet. After meeting, Quentin recounts the truth clearly. However, with only witness testimony, Julia is still half believing, half doubting. Lino proposes a plan for cooperation. Find that car and the incriminating bullet. Back at the parking lot, Julia notices someone following them. She immediately throws the car keys to Lino, while she goes forward, slashes a colleague's tires, and then gives herself up. On the other side, Moss receives the report, further cementing Julia and Lino's guilt. Moss immediately calls Arski to join her in pursuing Lino's group. Marco says he will help Arski drive his car back. After watching the two leave, he starts gearing up but heads to a different location. Lino and Quentin have arrived at the farm where the car is hidden. Quentin finds a bag of robbery money and white powder. He excitedly tells his brother, "We can make our $1 million retreat now." Lino is stunned by this sight. He needs evidence to clear his name, not to run away. Lino hurries after him. As a result, the 1v1 farm battle begins. On one side, The special operative is Marco with a shotgun and body armor. On the other side is the wandering Lino with a big empty gun, no ammo, no armor. Let's see who wins. And Quentin is dying outside. He chose the wrong profession and can't save himself, only able to struggle and crawl to the side. Lino is a kiss of the dragon-level fighting god, after all, and easily takes down Marco. He walks out the door to see his brother has passed away. Lino is heartbroken, kneeling on the ground in immense pain. Although they were not blood brothers, they grew up together in an orphanage since they were young. Now, fate has played a cruel joke, leaving him all alone. How could he not be devastated? Lino wants to pick up his brother, but discovers a secret Quentin left behind before he died. Following the clue, he finds the Renault 21 under a pile of cow dung. He hurriedly pulls the car out. The bullet hole through the dashboard is still there. With the evidence in hand, Lino immediately calls Julia, but the phone has fallen into Areski's hands. The two sworn enemies now hold each other's key pieces. Areski has taken control of the drug squad. Lino has gotten the Renault 21. So the current situation is a standoff, and the feud between the two powerful women also needs to be resolved. Moss wants Julia to obey, while Julia wants Moss to cooperate. The two part on bad terms. Now Lino's problem is how to transport the car back. So, to bring justice for Charis and also to clear his own name, Lino gets to work on Charis's beloved car. He utilizes the tools on the farm, making some simple modifications to the Renault 21. He goes to the same gas station as before, intentionally causing a scene to get the store employee to call the police. Areski and his subordinates immediately receive the report and set out at once. Very good. The race of speed and fury between the red and blue sides begins. On a one-way street, Lino is in no hurry. He uses a large truck to block the view. A police car passes, completely failing to see Lino behind it. Lino drives right up to the car's tail, using his newly modified ramming device to close in. The police car immediately makes a slick move, but Lino is an old pro at driving, sticking close behind. Finally, Lino finds an opportunity to shear off the police car's rear axle. Lino continues to push the police car forward as a shield. It's truly tragic. The person in the passenger seat is the same officer Lino took down in 2 moves at the police station. He begs Lino to stop, but how could Lino agree? Because that is his very purpose. He's betting that Areski's people up ahead won't dare to fire on their colleagues. He needs the Ford even more as a battering ram. On the radio channel, the cop whines, "Don't shoot," while being pushed forward by Lino, sparks flying. The officers on the other side begin to hesitate, but Areski couldn't care less and orders them to fire. And so, the other officers who had been beaten to a pulp by Lino start unloading their guns. You can see this female officer truly hates Lino to the bone. The 2 people in the police car scream tragically. Ramming through the barrier, Lino then uses the concrete posts on the roadside to fling the police car in front of him away and continues to speed off. Luckily, the 2 people in the police car didn't die. Areski doesn't even bother with them anymore, quickly getting in his car to give chase. Here, the others don't have a major personal grudge against Lino, but he must kill Lino. Moss receives the notification. She no longer cares about their conflict, telling Julia to quickly go and capture Lino alive. Julia is also a tough one. Without waiting for her superior to get in, she directly drives off in Moss's BMW. On this side, Lino and Areski have driven into the city area. This part is really exciting. After all, the French are very good at filming car chases. Julia calls on the radio, telling everyone to protect Lino, to absolutely not let Areski harm Lino. Areski goes crazy, attacking his own colleagues again, directly ramming and flipping a police car blocking the road ahead. Seeing this scene, Julia also joins the battle. Areski gives chase, taking advantage of his SUV's superiority to continuously ram the little cannon Renault 21. At this moment, Julia appears to help. Lino and Julia exchange a look of perfect understanding. Lino immediately slams on the brakes. Julia turns the wheel sharply. The BMW crashes into the Mercedes. Areski's car is flipped, but Julia has also nearly wrecked her boss's BMW. Lino immediately gets out of the car to check on Julia's injuries. Fortunately, the goddess is okay, but this has created an opportunity for Areski. He throws a stun grenade at the Renault 21. After the grenade explodes, it sets the rear trunk on fire. Lino, still fighting with Areski, is anxious as hell. He immediately gets into the car, racing against every second to begin his fire-driving sequence. Julia gets out of her car, but no longer has the strength to pursue Areski. Lino drives the burning car straight into the drug squad's workshop. His colleagues see it and immediately put out the fire, while Lino, because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, is of course thrown out. He manages to take a breath, looks up to see the car is still safe, and then faints with relief. The camera pans to the incriminating bullet. After recreating the bullet's trajectory, Lino is exonerated. Moss tells Julia to let that genius mechanic and race car driver stay. The drug squad needs him. As for Arsky, he has gone home to pack up his cash. In the end, he is still determined to abandon his wife and child. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching the movie. What do you think of this film? Please comment down below.